Dr. Imani Santos, a leading astrophysicist from Earth, felt her heart race as her shuttle descended onto the desolate asteroid, officially designated XR 937. What had begun as a routine survey mission had taken a thrilling turn when her sensors picked up faint, unnatural energy readings emanating from deep within the asteroid's craggy surface. She'd seen countless celestial bodies and explored her share of uninhabited rocks, but nothing had ever registered energy signatures quite like this. Climbing out of her ship, Imani was met with jagged formations rising from the asteroid's rocky surface, casting dark, uneven shadows in the low light. Her suit's boots crunched against the brittle, gravel-like ground as she made her way toward the source of the signal, her surroundings silent but for the faint hum of her suit systems. Her breath caught as she rounded a corner, and the sight revealed itself, a massive, sprawling pattern carved into the rocky landscape, larger and more intricate than anything she'd ever seen. Embedded deep into the stone was what looked like a map. The lines and symbols seemed almost alive, glowing faintly with a pulsing light that gave an unearthly hue to the asteroid's barren surface. The map was vast, covering the ground in a network of stars, interwoven lines, and strange glyphs that glowed in unison, as if responding to her presence. She knelt down, brushing her gloved fingers over the symbols, noting how they didn't resemble any known galactic writing or cartography. The map seemed ancient, yet its lines glistened with a mysterious energy, far too intact for something so old. Imani's discovery on the asteroid led her to send a desperate, encoded message to the Galactic University's Cultural Division. They responded quickly, sending their best expert on ancient star cultures, Lira Thal, a highly regarded alien historian from Xyriel. Lira arrived promptly, traveling in her personal craft, a sleek vessel with elegant, iridescent markings that reflected her homeworld's distinct aesthetic. As she disembarked, Lira's tall, slender form was immediately striking. Her lavender skin shimmered faintly under the ship lights, and her large, reflective eyes held an intensity that was both intimidating and entrancing. Unlike humans, Xyrielian historians were known for their eidetic memories and their deeply ingrained cultural reverence for ancient knowledge. Lira, a scholar of galactic myth and stellar archaeology, was especially famous for her expertise in civilizations that left little behind but whispers and stardust. She wore a long, flowing garment layered with symbols of her own, embroidered by hand, marking her rank as an archivist of the highest order, a rare distinction that few outsiders ever encountered. As she approached the site, she moved with an air of reverence, her gaze sweeping across the asteroid's dusty surface before locking onto the strange, illuminated patterns in the ground. Imani watched as Lira stepped carefully around the edges of the map, her hands hovering as if to touch the air itself. The historian's expression softened, a flicker of recognition crossing her face. Lira Thal knelt beside the map, her gloved fingers tracing the glowing lines with delicate reverence. She murmured words in her native language, too soft for Imani to catch, as if speaking to the very stones beneath her. Her gaze was intense, almost haunted, as she examined the symbols, which seemed to pulse brighter under her touch. After a long silence, Lira took a deep, shuddering breath and looked up at Imani, her eyes shining with an emotion the scientist couldn't place. "This is from the Zhaar," she whispered, her voice laced with awe and an unmistakable note of fear. Imani furrowed her brow. "The Zhaar? I've never heard of them." "Few have," Lira replied, her voice uncharacteristically quiet. The Zhaar were known as the First Watchers. They were a civilization that existed eons ago, well before any of our recorded histories began. Ancient even by Xyrielian standards. She paused, collecting her thoughts, as if piecing together fragments of a long-buried myth. They were more advanced than any culture we know of today. Some believed they could manipulate the very fabric of space, that they knew secrets of the universe that defied even our most advanced sciences. Imani listened, captivated, as Lira continued, her voice growing stronger, filled with the weight of forgotten history. The Zhaar did not seek power or conquest. They were keepers, recorders of cosmic events, observers of celestial bodies that no longer exist. They left behind maps, stories, warnings, but these were said to be lost to time. She ran her fingers over a series of clustered stars on the map, her eyes narrowing. These symbols, this is a depiction of the Xyriel constellation, a formation my people believed was a mere legend. According to the myth, it served as the Zhaar's waypost, a marker leading to places they guarded fiercely. She hesitated, as though weighing the gravity of what she was about to say. If this is true, Lira murmured, more to herself than to Imani, then the Zhaar didn't just vanish. They may have left behind something, a record, or even their final message, locked away in the fabric of this star map. Lira's fingers glided over the map with precise care, tracing an intricate path connecting stars and unfamiliar glyphs. Her brow furrowed as she examined a sequence of symbols that seemed to glimmer more brightly than the others. Imani leaned in, feeling a strange, unexplainable pull toward the constellation's design. These markings, Lira murmured, they're not just decorative. They're coordinates. Imani's eyes widened. Coordinates? To what? Lira's voice took on a tone of reverent awe as she studied the symbols more closely. To a region of space that lies beyond the edge of most known star maps, outside the galaxy's common routes. It's a system, but not just any system. She turned to Imani, her expression suddenly somber. In Xyrielian myth, these coordinates are associated with a star system known as the Vashrath, or the Forbidden Heart. It was rumored to be a place the Zhaar believed held answers to the deepest cosmic questions, truths about life, existence, and the universe itself. The lines on the map glowed faintly as if reacting to their discovery, the pattern now resembling a trail pointing to a distant point in the constellation's outer reaches. The coordinates were precise, almost too deliberate to be anything other than a message left by an intelligence of unfathomable age. Imani felt her pulse quicken. So, you think this star map isn't just a remnant of their civilization? It's a guide, a path to something they left behind? Lira nodded slowly, her expression grave. A final message. With the coordinates decoded, Dr. Imani Santos and Lira Thal prepared for a journey beyond the borders of charted space, venturing into regions known only in myth and legend. Imani's small exploration vessel was retrofitted with enhanced long-range systems and navigation tools to help them navigate the cosmic expanse, a void where few dared to go, and from which fewer still returned. The crew worked in silence, a mixture of awe and trepidation rippling through them as they readied for the mission. As they plotted their course, the ship's control systems displayed the map's coordinates, the trajectory passing far beyond any known chart or inhabited system. They'd need to pass through celestial regions teeming with volatile cosmic storms and regions where gravitational anomalies twisted the very fabric of space. The journey began quietly, with distant stars blazing against the black void, their light shifting and warping as they passed through space-time distortions. Lira spent most of her time studying the ancient symbols on the map, hoping to unlock deeper layers of meaning that might aid them along the way. Every new constellation and cosmic landmark they encountered seemed to pulse with the faintest glow, as though welcoming them along a path laid down eons before. As they drifted farther into the unknown, familiar stars faded into obscurity, replaced by eerie nebulae and swirling starfields that glittered with unfamiliar hues. Each new system carried the weight of ages, untouched by sentient life for millennia. After days of navigating the desolate reaches of the unknown, the ship finally arrived at the coordinates indicated on the ancient star map. Before them loomed a colossal structure, floating against the starlit void, a massive, spiraling construct that seemed part machine, part organic, and wholly alien. It emanated a faint, shimmering light, casting a spectral glow over the vessel as they approached. Lira and Imani stood in the observation bay, captivated by the sight. The structure surface was covered in intricate carvings and symbols that pulsed with energy, each glow illuminating fragments of inscriptions older than any known civilization. Lira's voice trembled as she whispered to Imani, This is a Zhaar archive. They maneuvered the ship closer, initiating a docking sequence. Upon entering, the team was greeted by an expanse of dark corridors lined with crystalline panels, each one etched with glyphs that came to life as they passed. At the core of the archive, they discovered a grand chamber, a hall of knowledge with holographic star charts, records of cosmic events, and visions of distant worlds swirling in ethereal projections. Lira activated one of the panels, and a flood of data illuminated the room, displaying the Zhaar's recordings of galactic histories and phenomena unknown to their time. Symbols shifted into readable patterns, forming messages left by the Zhaar. Imani and Lira watched as holographic images of ancient star systems and cosmic events materialized around them, revealing fragments of the universe's past, secrets of cosmic origins, and a warning about an event the Zhaar had foreseen.